Another study to add to the pile of what were you thinking? Why was this your hypothesis? I was scrolling my Google newsfeed and came across an article that said open world video games like Zelda can boost your mental health. Study says. The article just enraged me, so I read the full study, which continued to enrage me. And we need to talk about it, or I need to talk about it. Okay, we'll back up a second because we need to explain for people who aren't video game nerds. An open world video game is where you have a large, freely explorable environment where you don't have to do things in a particular order. Games from our childhood are what people now call linear games, where you have to do one thing, and once that's done, then you can do the next thing. And then once that's done, then you do the next thing, all in like a predetermined order. Open world games like Zelda, Breath of the Wild, and Tears of the Kingdom are more dynamic and actually encourage random exploration. I hate everything about this article that says open world video games are good for your mental health. And I read the full study, and I hate everything about it too. Before you call me biased, I love video games. I've actually been a Zelda fan since I was 10 years old. And these specific games that they're talking about, I have 555 hours logged between both games. I really love these games. Does that mean I think they're good for you? No, because why would I think that? Why would I think that? This is going to be hard to do. Nobody on this good green earth would suggest that video games don't make you feel good. Why would this multi-billion-dollar industry exist if video games didn't make people feel good? Okay, the whole point of this video, right? I'm just going to sum it up, one sentence. There are things in this world that make you feel good that aren't good for you. Video games are an escape, the same way that alcohol, drugs, sometimes even sleep and food get used as escapes. These things feel good, but a pleasurable feeling doesn't automatically mean that something must be good for you. Why do I even have to say this in 2024? This is like the worst study I've ever seen. I think it's common to have a confusion between feels good and good for you, okay? And let's talk about the study, because they interviewed postgraduate students who are smart, but let's face it, maybe not super aware of the difference between feels good and good for you. The article says that open games promote cognitive escapism. Yes, 100%. It says that the games promote relaxation. Sure. My problem comes when they make the leap to say that because those two things are true, that it means the games are good for your mental well-being. Like, no. What? No. That is too big a leap, and you need to explain how you got there from feels good. Like, who paid for this study? Nintendo? Did Nintendo pay for your study? So they do try to define what they mean by well-being, and they use what's called the self-determination theory. SDT says that a person's autonomy, competence, and connection all contribute to their well-being. So the authors argue that open world games contribute to freedom and autonomy because you get to have complete control. Yeah, in a fake world, it's not real autonomy. They say from open world games you get connection and social interaction, but they don't talk about any examples in this study at all. And you know why? I'm so excited to tell you why. If you look at open world games that actually do have social interaction, it is not healthy. I love Red Dead Redemption 2. One time I tried playing online. It was the most toxic thing I've ever experienced in my life. who did this study. They just dropped this like, open world games promote social interaction. Boom. Mental well-being. What? No. I want to talk for a quick second about who did this study. Okay, because it was 3 female med students, and the only specialization I could find was surgery, by the way. So not mental health, not psychology, not psychiatry, and 2 males who were marketing professionals. Online gaming is dominated by men. Women typically don't online game. Not always, I'm just saying typically, okay? So women do not know the treacherous world of social interaction in gaming. I'm just saying. Also, I want to mention that all of this stuff was said in the beginning of their article. So it was like they had already drawn their conclusions while they're still in the background section. Does that sound like good science to you? They surveyed 609 people and did 30-something interviews. The interviews are sad, man. They really are. People say that the games allowed them to disconnect from the real world, which enhanced their mood and provided a sense of relaxation. You know what else enhances your mood and provides a sense of relaxation? Alcohol. Relaxation does not equate to well-being. It's like we did a study to see if alcohol makes people feel good. And we found that yes, it does. Therefore, it must be good for your well-being. No, bad. They were very careful in the study, though. They used words like can and may a lot. So, just my opinion, I think they know what they're saying is super sketchy. Whatever you accomplish in a video game is an illusion, and your brain knows it's an illusion, even if you're in denial about it. It may feel good to see that complete notification pop up on 10 side quests you've had in Hyrule, but in real life, all that is wasted time. And I can tell you from firsthand experience that it makes you more miserable than you might realize. You feel off the next day, and you can't explain why. You'd never think that it was the video game because you were having fun while you were playing it. But I would encourage these students to take note of how they feel, not while they're playing the game, but how they feel when they've come back to reality after a lengthy game session, because I think those 2 feelings are going to be very different. Okay, let's take a few minutes to look at these interview responses because I just find them so sad. People said, playing the game helps me escape from my everyday problems. It helps me forget the troubles in my life. I don't have to think about things that would upset me. Without the game, I feel like something important is missing in my life. How does this not sound like an addiction? This is my most favorite, and actually, I mean that this is the one that burns my soul with rage. The game is my form of meditation. It's the closest thing to meditation I can think of. It is a blessing and a refuge. Child, please, you need help. Video games are quite literally the opposite of meditation. Meditation at its most basic core is presence. Video games are not presence. You are escaping presence. And again, I'm not denying that it feels good. I'm denying that it's good for you. Life feels meaningless. Playing this game gives me a reason and something to look forward to. Look, I'm not going to badmouth a coping mechanism because I know the power it holds when you have nothing else. But it's dangerous when you don't recognize a coping mechanism for what it is, and you actually call it the opposite of what it is. The way people are talking about games, it sounds good, right? I can do the same thing for alcohol. Watch. 1 sip of my wine and the weight of the world softens. My stress is transformed into warmth, laughter, conversation, and connection flow easily. And while I am drinking, everything just feels right. I feel like I'm home, like I'm myself. Sounds pretty good, right? If I said that to these authors, they'd be concluding now that wine is good for my mental well-being. I've been mean, and wow, you didn't have to agree so quickly. I will recognize a saving grace that the authors threw in. They did briefly, and I mean like a couple of sentences, say that the gaming needs to be casual. So what's casual? Because I think that casual is 1 to 2 hours a week. How much do you think these people are actually playing? Anything fun is fine and good, and sure, indulge. It's when it gets excessive that it's a problem. How much is excessive? I would argue that if you are using a video game to escape real life, then your usage is excessive. Maybe I'm extreme. I don't know. But I do think that people with mental health issues are going to be more susceptible to abuse of things that feel good, like drugs, alcohol, video games. And I think it's highly unethical to put out studies like this one that they even admit the self-reporting nature of creates unreliable results, and not expect the media to just eat this up and report on it as though it's fact. They even at one point suggest that open world games should be used as therapy tools. And I just want to bang my head against the wall so hard. This is so messed up. It really is. Okay, guys, just feels good does not mean good for you. Okay? Okay, I'll stop now. Hey, if you're new here, I made this channel because I'm currently healing from depression, anxiety, and c-ptsd, and I want to help other people who are also dealing with these illnesses. I know what they're like firsthand, and I believe that hearing stories you can relate to is an important part of getting better. I'm not 100% better yet, but I finally feel like I'm on the right path, and I can see now that it's going to take time. And that's okay, but it's also isolating. Doctors rush you, they pump you with pills, they check off their boxes, and I mean, therapists care for $200 an hour. And when I told my friends and family how I was really feeling, I got phantom whiplash from all the ghosting. And I'm really tired of all of that. If you are too, you're more than welcome to join this channel. Please remember to like, subscribe, comment, share. Even just one of those things is incredibly helpful. And to the repeat viewers, thank you all so much. I always look forward to reading your comments and your stories. They really are the highlight of my day. So thank you so much. And we'll see you next week.